Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for, what is this, the 14-minute drill? A lot to unpack.
It could be.
After this one, Tennessee drops the game to Purdue 48-45. Suspect play calling, suspect officiating, suspect secondary play. We can keep going on and on. A lot happened in this almost 5-hour tilt between these two teams. And, Tennessee and Tennessee fans, they don't end the season the way they had hoped and thought would.
No, well, I mean, this is a Purdue team that's depleted with a lot of guys. Their better players weren't here, so probably overconfident. We talked about it yesterday. You get a little queasy when everybody predicts a big win for Tennessee, but you just felt like that was going to be the case. In that first quarter, Tennessee gets out to a 2-possession lead, and they're throwing it over their head, and they feel like everything's going in that way, and then the second quarter blues hit for Tennessee. And the second quarter's been a problem for Tennessee all year long. It was worse tonight than it's been in any other second quarter all season long. 60 yards, no points.
Turnovers.
Yeah, just not pretty. I mean, just one of those deals. I mean, defensively, they forced some red zone stops and forced field goals, or it could have been worse. But that was just a situation where Tennessee was out of kilter in all areas of the football game in the second quarter.
You go into overtime. Jalen Wright, 4th down and 1, reaches the ball across the plane. They rule that the forward progress was stopped. It's just a tough pill to swallow if you're a Tennessee fan. You go back to 2010, the way that game ended, how several other games have ended over the last decade. Now this one again, it's one of those head scratchers where if the officials took the game into their hands, and I won't say determine the outcome, but potentially determine it. Who knows, maybe Purdue goes on and scores there and ties Tennessee, we go to a second overtime, but that definitely had an impact on the game.
Well, no question, and I think the frustration there is the inconsistency of that rule, okay? But because if you're in the middle of the field and the offensive line's pushing a guy, they'll let him push him 10 yards down the field before they blow the whistle dead. In the Ole Miss game, that's the quickest whistle in the history of mankind when Tyler Barron picks up a ball and runs it in for the end zone. Makes no sense. There, you got a side judge who came in and thought he saw forward progress stopped. He ruled and blew the play dead. Running back Jalen Wright's nothing's on the ground. He's still on top of the defender. It's a tough call.
Here's my question: why did they go to review? If that was the call on the field and they knew that they had blew it dead, how could they go review?
I think that was just to go just so you don't have everybody talking about after the game like, why didn't you review the play? I mean, the review lasted 8 seconds. I mean, the guy didn't hardly get underneath the little canopy before he came out. I think that was just a cover your rear end so nobody could say afterwards they wouldn't even look at it. They went in, I think they heard the whistle or saw the official waving his arms in and felt like he'd waved his arms and the play was dead, but before Jalen Wright moved the ball across the goal line. And that series of downs, I didn't really understand the pass attempt down there. I thought you just kind of hammer it in. That one was kind of crazy. And then you ran the ball twice at the end of regulation to start that drive. And, Josh Heupel explained it afterwards.
I thought it was going to be the Kentucky end of the first half.
Right, bam, 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 and there you go. But they let some time come off the clock there by trying to pop a couple of runs. Probably cost them 2 or 3 snaps. That would allow you to get 10 yards closer. And Josh Heupel was second guessing himself a little bit after the game where he said in his press conference, we should have been closer and that's on me for not being there. I think he would like to redo that drive a little bit if he could.
Self-reflection from him, self-reflection from Hendon Hooker, who said he was average or okay or whatever the descriptive he used.
Which is crazy on a day where you set a bowl record for 5 touchdown passes and you throw a 4th down touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman, you bail him out in overtime and get a first down. You get a first down right there at the end of regulation with your legs. But he missed Velus Jones twice for touchdowns. He missed a couple of big throws that were throws that he typically makes. And if you make a couple of those throws, particularly in the second quarter, we're not talking about second quarter woes. We're talking about probably Tennessee in control of the football game pretty much at the half and heading into the second half.
If we were doing the stock report where we go stock down field, that was bad for both. And we'd also do stock down Jimmy Hines, who is just now photobomb but we would do stock down Tennessee secondary, which was atrocious all night.
Yeah, they had a hard time. They couldn't cover the tight end. Now, Tim Banks dialed up 2 really good plays. One, the Byron Young interception, could have clearly confused the quarterback. He had Jeremy Banks for another one, and he dropped it. They got 3 interceptions on the night, but they gave up, probably 9 plays of 20 yards or more in terms of completions. they were just shredded. They struggled at the corner position, clearly missing Alontae Taylor, which is certainly a red flag going into the offseason. Austin, you're going to have to tighten that up. Some guys are going to have to develop big time. And then we've talked about it all year long. There's a foot speed issue at the safety spot that rears its head. And I thought Jeff Brom attacked Tennessee's secondary as well, if not better, than anybody else has all year long.
That's right. Kamal had one out with one of his 13 shoulder dislocations on that, and they put Rucker in, and he attacked him and went for that first big score, and all of a sudden Purdue got a little confident after that. He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. That's the 2-minute drill or 14-minute drill, however you want to describe it, from here in Nashville.